Sure.
So once you did get matched, could you just tell me a little bit about like what was the screening process like? So you donated can I say the clinic is Reproductive Medicine Associates of New Jersey. So you had to, go out there to Basking Ridge and, you had transportation there. So just tell us a little bit what that was like, what that experience was like.
Sure. That was a bit of a lengthy process. I would attribute most of that to COVID. Um, different COVID screening requirements, and that was a time when labs were very overwhelmed. But besides a little bit of a longer wait time, the screening process was fairly straightforward. As you said, I did have to travel out to Basking Ridge for some of it. There is a day of testing that you have to do as an egg donor where you get lots of blood drawn, ultrasound, you get the opportunity to meet with a social worker or psychologist, just sort of to talk a little bit about the donation, go over a bit of your family background, your personal hopes and aspirations. And I found that though that was a day-long process, and there were a couple of other tests that I had to do along the way on different days, some of them in Manhattan, some of them in Basking Ridge. I definitely always felt like I had the enough information to prepare me for those days, both from you and from everyone at Basking Ridge. Were always really lovely to work with. So though on paper it seemed like a lot, I felt very well guided through the process by everyone on both sides.
Yeah. They take a lot of blood.
Yeah.
They're testing for genetic and infectious diseases, and then they want to make sure you got your head on straight, just like meet with a social worker.
Yeah.
You talk to a geneticist, go over your family tree. None of it was painful, right? Were you squeamish about any of that?
No, none of it was painful. I didn't realize how much I don't like needles, which is maybe the wrong, to some might be the wrong path to go for donation. So I did need a little bit of extra patience when dealing with a needle, but no, none of it was extraordinarily painful or difficult. And it ended up being kind of a wonderful opportunity for me in terms of the genetic testing, just to learn a little bit more about
Oh,
myself, about
oh
my
yeah,
family.
you get all this testing that you wouldn't have in a normal checkup. They test you for like
Yeah.
almost 300 diseases and conditions. Not that you have them, that you may
Mhm.
be a carrier for them. And that's
Right.
really interesting. And
Right.
usually, um, most donors pass their screenings.
Mhm.
And the donors who do not pass, it isn't on the genetics. It's usually something else like infectious disease that, you can have chlamydia and not know it, or some of the hormone levels that they do up front. But
Mhm.
genetics is just interesting. It's very rare to actually not pass your screening on the basis of genetics, but it's really interesting to find out.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's really fascinating for me to have those results.